So, I want to preface this by saying I'm going fresh off the dome, okay? I do have one singular sheet of notes, front and back covered, with what I've just been thinking about, okay? That's what I'm going off of. And if I go off any tangents, it's because I'm going off the dome. That's it. I got nothing else to give you. And also, my opinions are my opinions. Your opinions are yours. Okay, we can have our own thoughts. These are my thoughts, and I'm giving them to you here, right now. Okay? Okay. In the end of season 3, when Ian left, right? Disappeared, okay? And then in season 4, I think it was like probably like the beginning, everyone was like, oh, we haven't seen Ian for a week. And Fiona was so fucking chill about it. But, and like usually, like, you know, with the Gallaghers, right? Like Frank could be off to nowhere. Monica, who knows where she is. But for Ian, that's not normal behavior. So that should have been one of the first red flags, is that he just disappeared without a word, not telling anybody where he went until the authorities went to Lip, called him up, went to the bathroom, like, oh my god. Because everybody is over here, like, worried, but they're not doing anything about it. They didn't do anything, okay? And I know it's because maybe they didn't know how to handle it. But also, they recognized that it was just like what Monica was like, what Monica has been doing, what she is like, what she has been acting like. Yet they didn't do shit. Yet they didn't even try. Like, they didn't even try to, like, they did try to look for him. I will give them that. They tried to look for him. They tried to call him. But they did that for like a couple days. They did that for like a week. And then they stopped. They didn't even bother. You know? I'm not saying they should have gone like the full 9 yards, but like also kind of, yeah, I am. Like, kind of, yes, I am. Because he went away I think he went away for a week. It might have been longer. I don't remember. Sorry. But as I'm saying it again, that's not normal for Ian. He doesn't just go off into nowhere with no fucking explanation. And everybody's just cool with it. And when he came back in season 4, and he was clearly manic, okay? It was so obvious. Because number 1, he just showed up. He just opened the door and was like, hey Fiona, hi. Second, the things that he said, like when he was in the kitchen, I think he was cooking, and then Fiona was like, what are you doing, blah blah blah, and he just kept talking. Okay? I should know, because here's also my bias. I am bipolar, so I know the signs, okay? Don't talk, don't even worry about it. So, he's just talking about 50 different ideas at once, okay? And that he doesn't act like that. He's usually very, like, quiet. He doesn't talk that fast or a lot, usually. He doesn't really, like, talk like that. So that should have been another sign. And then also, I remember one of the details that he said is that he was like, oh yeah, I stopped smoking. And he's like, yeah, it's been like a week or something. Not word for word. Okay, I don't remember. And then Fiona was like, oh! But I'm like, honey, did that not ring any bells? Did that not, you know, sirens didn't go off in your head like a bleach and tone? Like, and it irritates me, because also later, I think also in season 4 or season 5, I'm gonna be questioning it a lot because they were like the same in my head. When Ian was on his bed and Mickey came over, and Ian was like writing in like his notebook, and then Mickey was like, what you doing there? And Ian, he said something like, he was like, oh, just some ideas, and he just kept on writing, and he was just like doing this, doing that, 50 different thoughts at once. I'm like, and every time that Ian was there in season 4, he was constantly like, oh, I have this idea, oh my god, wait, I have another idea, wait, a great idea, oh my god, wait, we should do this thing, and do this, and do that, and do that. He doesn't act like that. Why are you guys not doing anything about it? Yes, I understand. They're busy with their own lives. Fiona was going through shit. Lip, a mess. Okay, Debbie, she did try to do something. Frank, who gives a fuck about him? Who cares? I don't care about him in this story. I don't care. But also, that's your damn brother, who's been gone for a week and doesn't act like that. And you're over here not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Okay, still talking about season 4. When the military officers or whatever, I forget what they're called, show up to Lip's college, wherever he was, like in the restroom, and Lip was like, oh. And it's because Ian took his ID, right, to get into the army because he wasn't of legal age. Mind you, he was 17 at this time. That's an important detail because also, so think about this, he's a minor still, technically. Enlisted in the army, which isn't what he wanted to do at all. He didn't want to enlist. Okay, I don't know, like, the specific thing, but clearly in season 1 or whatever, he was like, I don't want to enlist. That's not my dream. I'm not doing that. And what does he go do? Enlist. What does he do? Take Lip's identity. What does he do? Try to hotwire him helicopter. Like, and nobody seemed to question it. Well, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, they didn't question it enough. Like they should have. And there was a part in season 4, I believe, definitely, when Ian was like up and at him, he was awake, he's like, oh my gosh, Mickey comes downstairs and he's like, what are you doing or whatever, he's like making breakfast or something, and then he's like, oh yeah, I went on a 6-mile run, and he was like, huh? And he was like, yeah, I got like 2 hours of sleep. Ding ding ding, something's wrong with him. Like, come on. This is just me complaining. I'm just like, come on. That's not what he does. That's not who he is. That's not how he acts. And you're being like, oh yeah, this is just a normal Tuesday. Maybe for anybody else in the family. Maybe for Frank. Maybe for Monica. Not for Ian. This is not normal. And also, the many, numerous fucking times they said that Ian was just like Monica, and yet they're like, oh, we'll get to Ian when we get to it. Like, he's not some fucking box for you to check on the to-do list. He's in immediate, he needs help. He could be a danger to himself and others, which, yes, later he was. And you're not doing anything about it. Like, nothing immediate, you know? Like, because how are you going to say that he's just like Monica when Monica's been locked up how many times? She's been coked out how many times? She's done this, done that. And yet you're not worried. For a minor, 17-year-old who needs help and is literally so clearly losing his mind, and what are you doing? Sitting around. What are you doing? Continuing to just fucking look at him. Like, they looked at him as if he was some kind of animal instead of doing anything, instead of even just like talking to him, you know, like a night, like a chat, like not like a, oh hey, how's it going, what are you doing, like full on sit down at the damn table, you know. They didn't even like try to like pull him out of it, which, like, I know you can't, blah blah. They didn't try. They did not try. Now, let's fast forward to season 5. After he has his, like, mental break, he steals Evgeny, right? He comes back after being in prison for him finally getting caught by the thing because of Sammy, right? Him coming home after being with Monica, him coming home specifically after the breakup, okay? After the breakup with him and Mickey, with him and Mickey, okay? And Fiona comes around, is talking to Ian, and it's like, you need to take your meds. You need to be on that. But Fiona wasn't doing anything to make sure he was taking his meds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it's her responsibility to full on be like, here's your medicine. But she was just like, take your medicine. She wasn't like making sure he actually did. She wasn't making sure that he was actually swallowing them. He wasn't making sure that he was keeping track with them. And you know who was? Mickey. Right. And I'll get to that later. Don't get me started. But it just irked me so much. And I'm saying this, I'm prefacing. Yes, I know they have their own lives. I know Fiona had so much shit going on. But come on. She needed to be with Ian. She needed to make sure he was okay. And so did everybody. Like, Lip could have, well, I guess he was in college. But like, he still came home. The only person who really did anything was Mickey. He actively was trying to do shit. Like, he was dismissive of it at first. I don't think he was well, hold on, let me rephrase. I don't think he was dismissive. I think he was in denial. He was like, no, he's fine. He's like, no, he's not sick. We're not taking him to a hospital. We're not getting him hooked on meds. But then, when Ian was bringing home all the suitcases, when he was doing this, doing that, cheating on him, he was like, okay, something's wrong. Because we know Ian would not do that. We know that. We as the viewers know that. Mickey knows it. He would not cheat on Mickey like that. By just doing shit, okay? That's when he finally realized, and that's when he finally started to give a shit and actually do things. But everybody else who was living with Ian, currently under his fucking roof, or not his roof, but under the roof of the own house, seeing him every day. What did they do? Nothing. In season 5, episode 12, the last episode, when Ian is home and he's sitting down in front of Mickey's porch and they break up, okay? Through the whole scene, Ian kept mentioning how he was like, are you gonna love me even if I don't? Referring to him not taking his meds. Because everyone around him, his family, seems to not care about him. And seems to not want to be around him because he's off his meds. That's why he's thinking that way. But he doesn't know that Mickey will be there thick and thin, okay? He literally said, that's literally what he said. And it's just like, it breaks my heart. It really does. Because his family's saying he's just like Monica. That he needs to take his meds. He needs to do this. But you're not helping him. You're just expecting him to do it by himself when you've clearly stated that he cannot care for himself. And who does care for him? Mickey. That's right. Okay, going back. Season 5, episode 12. Ian mentioning, are you going to love me even if I don't? When he doesn't want to take his meds. Because he doesn't want to. He literally feels numb. Like, he literally burned his hand so he could feel something. Like, hello? And hold on, I'm thinking. He kept trying to push Mickey away because he's like, nobody seems to love me. Because nobody paid attention to him. Nobody cared. What's that one audio where it's like, and nobody cared, and nobody seemed to care? Because throughout that whole scene, Ian being like, no, you're not gonna love me. You can't change me. I am who I am. Mickey knows that. He can't be fixed, but he can be helped. But he doesn't know that he can't be helped because nobody's helping him. Nobody's helping him except for Mickey. And guess what he's doing? Pushing Mickey away because his family isn't doing anything, so therefore he thinks that nobody should do anything for him. And then in the beginning of season 6, I'm in the process of rewatching, so this is why this is all coming up, but I haven't gone through the later half of season 6 yet, so bear with me. But in the beginning of season 6, Fiona is constantly like, take your meds, Ian. Take them. And guess what? He doesn't. But she's not actually making sure that he's taking the meds. He's not being offered support by his family, taking these meds, which he obviously doesn't want to do because he wants to believe that he's not bipolar, because he associates being bipolar by being Monica. And with that scene in season 5, episode 12, him saying, I'm not Monica, he doesn't. He just doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be bipolar. He's in denial. He doesn't want to accept it because he doesn't want to end up like Monica. Because everyone around him is saying, "You're like Monica. You're like Monica. This is just like what Monica did," and he even recognizes it himself too. Don't get me wrong, but it's everyone around him that's making him believe that. Okay, because everyone around is like, "You're like Monica," so he's starting to believe that he's Monica too, which he doesn't have to be. He has time, but he doesn't know that because everyone, his family, the support system, is saying that he's like the worst person in the world, basically. And so he's like, his delusion's being fed that he's an awful person, which is why he pushed Mickey away, which is why he's yelling at everybody, which is why he fought Lip in season 6. Oh yeah, so my original point was that in season 6, when Fiona's like, take your meds, take your meds, take your meds, and Ian's like, okay, he doesn't do it because nobody's making him do it, because Fiona is just telling him to. She's not handing him the pills, she's not giving him water, she's not actively making sure that they go down his throat, okay? She's not doing that. And you know who did? That's right, yes, Mickey Milkovich, thank you. And in season 6, Mickey got locked up. So that's why he's not taking his meds anymore, is because Mickey was the only one that actually paid attention to him. Mickey was the only one that saw him take the meds. He was the only one that gave him the meds. He was the only one that gave him something to drink with the meds. He was the only one to do that. Okay? And now that Mickey's gone, he doesn't take them anymore because he can't, because he doesn't want to. He's not being forced to. Earlier in season 5, yes, when he first got out of the hospital and he took the pills and flushed them down, right? Like flushed them down the drain or something. And Debbie was like, oh no, because she was supposed to be in charge of that. Let me get this clear, I'm not blaming her. I'm not. Free Debbie, my heart. Like, they failed her too. Don't even get me into that. But him flushing down the pills because Debbie wasn't paying attention, because Fiona, it all goes back to, and look, I'm getting this clear, Fiona, love her, that's my girl, but she needed to lock the fuck in. She did, because Fiona was like, you have to make sure that he's taking his pills, but she wasn't the one actually doing anything. She was just telling everybody to go do something about it. She wasn't the one helping. She wasn't giving support. She wasn't helping. She wasn't doing this. She wasn't doing that. And that's why Ian saw the pills just fresh out on the counter, by the way. Not like, considering the family's history, they're not like locked up. They're not like locked up, but they're not like in his room. They're not like in the bathroom. They're on the kitchen counter, which is so, like, that's why he took them all out. That's why he saw them. Took them all out, flushed them down. And that's why Debbie blames herself, because Fiona told her to keep an eye. But Fiona never did anything. She never did anything except for say, you need to take your meds and you're like Monica. And going back to whenever everybody was just like, oh yeah, that's weird, it was mainly Fiona saying, yeah, that's like Monica. That's like, we know what this is. And she brushed it off. Therefore, everyone else brushed it off. Because they were like, oh, it's fine, he'll come back like a boomerang, like he'll be back. Which he was, but he wasn't well. And y'all still didn't give a fuck. Right. Because, you know, Fiona is technically like the guardian. She is their legal guardian. Because this was after she signed all the papers saying, yeah, I think. When she finally is their, like, legal guardian. So the kids look up to her. They take in her advice. They listen to her rules. Well, like, kind of not really nearing the end of season 5 and season 6 because of the whole Liam thing. They're confiding in Fiona to, like, know how to deal with this. Which she doesn't know how to deal with it to a certain extent. But also, yes, she kind of does, because as they've said many times before, as we've seen before, they've done this before. But they didn't do it with Ian. until it was way too late, until he ran off with fucking Evgeny. So, like, Fiona, I love you. Truly, like, they also failed you. Like, everybody was failed. But you also caused the failing. But you also were the reason that Ian got worse. Partially. Okay? It's also because literally just his brain. Okay? When he came back from being locked up after having his mental breakdown, guess who got him into the psych ward? Mickey. Because he was the one, when Ian was about to sign the papers, he looked back at Mickey and Mickey nodded. But Mickey was the one that got him in there, not Fiona. Lip physically got them there because he drove the damn car. But he didn't get him to go. One thing I can appreciate, this is about Mickey, okay, is that in the beginning of season 5, like throughout season 5, he was seeing Ian's descent into madness, call it what it is, his descent into going to have a fucking full-blown episode. He was seeing it actively because Ian was living with Mickey, right? He was seeing all of the signs so clearly because Mickey, yes, he comes from a troubled home. Yes, he comes from a fucked up past, okay? His father, piece of shit, okay? But from what we know, he doesn't have any experience with, like, bipolar family members, okay? And I liked that Mickey was basically, like, a fresh perspective. He was kind of like the audience in a way. Like, when Ian is living with Mickey, and he's clearly going mad, Mickey finally was seeing it because he was there. Because he doesn't know, like, because he knew Ian. He knew Ian before he left, before he disappeared. He knew that Ian would never be he would never do the things that he's done if he was, like, sane. And I'm glad that Mickey was the one to realize. Because if Ian had stayed, if Ian was living at the Gallagher's home, right? If he was living there during that period of time in season 5, I don't think anything, like, it still wasn't well, but I think it'd be so much worse. Okay? Because everybody in that damn home is, like, familiar with that behavior. They're like, oh, it's whatever, it's fine. But Mickey is like, he needs help. He needs to go to a hospital. He needs to get meds. Something is so wrong with him. Because he's finally seeing all the issues. Because he's there with him, not like 24/7, but like they're living together. So of course he's going to see these issues. And also after, when I think Fiona is talking to Mickey and talking about all the signs of bipolar, and it's like being hypersexual, talking a lot, this, that, Mickey finally sees it. And I like how those specific symptoms were shown in Ian throughout the season. Okay? And that's how Mickey was finally realizing that he's fucked. But everybody else, they're like, oh yeah, something's wrong with him. He's just like Monica. But were they doing anything? No. I'm sorry. They were twiddling their thumbs. They were literally just, like, there. They were just going on about their days, which, like, yes, they should have a life. Okay? Yes, they should have a life of their own. But if they're clearly seeing that he's not okay, and also, I have a bone to pick. How did they think that he was okay when he was looking like that? Okay? Mind you, he had all that muscle. Now, he was, in season 5, looking like a twig. He was looking so pale. His eyes were so fucked, okay? Did they not see the dark circles under his eyes? Did they not see his eye bags? Did they not see his hair? Did they not see how skinny he was? Did they not see how he physically looked? He's not healthy. Before he disappeared, before he just left, he was looking like normal, like how he normally was. But when he came back, he was looking like he was dead, honestly. He looked like a corpse. I feel like I'm literally just repeating myself constantly, and I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, yes, Fiona had her own shit going on. Okay, Fiona had her own shit going on. But she was the one who kept feeding the delusion in Ian that he was Monica. She kept saying, take your meds, but not actually making sure he did that. So therefore, he didn't. Not getting him to the fucking hospital. She wasn't there when he got released from like that little, I don't know, county jail thing after his break, after he got caught with the baby, whatever. He wasn't the one. And you know who Ian wanted to be called to hear the news that he was locked up? Not Fiona, not Lip, not anybody else. Mickey. Because Mickey fucking realized Mickey was the only one who did anything. But Fiona, she literally just never did anything about it. She didn't try. I'm sorry, but she didn't try. When you know damn well she should have. She did not try a damn thing. She was demanding. She was telling him to do all these things. She was telling him to be healthy. She was telling this, telling that. Was she doing anything about it? Was she actively making sure that he was okay? Was she actively making sure he was taking his meds? No. When she could have, she really could have. Because if she was in the house, I'm really talking like season 6 when she was constantly being like, take your meds. She was in the house. She could have been there. Cup of water. Take them right now. She never did that. Which also stated previously when he got locked up for the army thing, and when they were at like the table or whatever, and the cop or something was like, are you to believe that he can take care of himself? And she's like, no, not all the time. She recognizes that he can't care for himself most of the time. Like in this specific situation, most of the time he can't, because he's laying there. You're recognizing that he cannot do anything, and you're not doing anything about it, and you're not helping him, and you're not caring for him. And in season 5, I believe, when Debbie went over to the Milkovich house to go talk to Mickey, to say, he needs you. Because Mickey was the only one that did anything. She didn't go to Fiona. She didn't go to Lip. She went to Mickey. Because she knew that he would do something about it. She knew that he would help. She knew that he would care for him. She knew that Fiona wouldn't. She knew that Lip would not. She knew that Mickey would. Not even his own family, by the way. She knew that her own family would not take care of him. She knew that Mickey would. In the couple last episodes of season 5, when Sammy ratted Ian out for his military crimes, free my boy, don't care. Sorry, free him. I stand by my problematic please free my boy. Okay, but when Sammy ratted him out, and Sammy's over here like, I'm a Gallagher, I am part of this family, this and that. What's repeated throughout many times through the show? Gallaghers don't snitch. What did she do? She snitched. And because of that saying, which I know damn well Ian's heard, this probably caused him to spiral, which is why he broke up with Nikki. Because if he couldn't trust a half-sister Gallagher, how was he gonna trust anybody else? If he couldn't trust his own blood because they haven't done anything, because they've done basically nothing to support him, if he couldn't trust a damn half-sister. Okay, as I'm editing this, I'm realizing Sammy and Ian, technically, not siblings. They're cousins. Okay? Think about it. Family tree. Okay, I'm not going to get into it right now because I'm going to talk for like a minute. But they're technically cousins. But my point still stands with what I said. Just pretend I said cousin. Okay? Okay. To not rat him out. To just be his fucking family. How is he going to trust, Mickey? Because literally, how is he going to trust him? How is he going to do that? I feel like that just, like, made him spiral into being like, nobody can trust me. I don't trust anybody. Nobody can trust me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody's paying attention to me. Nobody wants to help me. Nobody wants to care for me. So I'm cutting you off because what are you gonna do? And maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't care. That's how my brain works. I read into everything because everything is a detail if you notice it, if you have eyes. Everything matters if you have eyes. Hopefully I made sense. I don't know if I did. I've just been talking. Hopefully I made sense. It's kind of been all over the place, but I just need to get my thoughts out. Enjoy. Take it with what you will. Take it with a grain of salt or the whole tub for all I care. Bye.